Oh my gosh. So I'm getting ready and I just saw a video of somebody saying that Carole Baskin's case was never closed and that they're going to be reopening the case. I don't know why, you guys, that I'm infatuated with this case, but I am. I literally should have been like a detective because I get infatuated with things like this. If you believe that Carole Baskin is guilty, you should like this status because there's so much evidence. First of all, if you haven't watched Tiger King, you are seriously missing out and you probably won't know what I'm talking about right now. So, anyway, Tiger King is probably the biggest documentary right now, streaming. Great. Streaming on Netflix. So if you haven't checked it out, seriously, go check it out. I mean, we're all quarantined and we're all trying to get through this right now, so I would check it out. Anyway, it's mind numbing, but it is pretty funny, and I don't know why I'm so loud right now, but I am. Anyway, I was just watching an interview where the sheriff, the county sheriff, is reopening the case. I guess it was never closed, so they can't really reopen it. If it wasn't closed, it's just never figured out. There's so much evidence that points to Carole murdering her husband, and she isn't in jail. Like, she needs to be in jail and doing the exact same thing that Joe Baskin, Joe Exotic, whatever his name is doing. I don't know if you guys watched the interviews with the cast or not, but that was pretty interesting. Like, everybody was like, we really didn't watch the documentary and we really don't want to watch the documentary. But I thought it was funny. They're like, we're not, famous. We shouldn't be famous. I mean, who knew that that documentary would blow up like it did? Like, we all had nothing else to do because quarantine happened, and then we all watched Tiger King. So 10 million of us watched it and said, oh my God, Carole Baskin killed her husband. So I agree that the case should be relooked at for sure. Whoa, excuse me. Because Carole for sure killed her husband. I believe it 100%. Like, if you don't believe it, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. Crazy, insane in the membrane. Anyway, you know what? I feel like I'm in a bad movie of the Hunger Games. Like, I'm in where I have to pretend like all of this is real and not know the truth just so you can get by with the government. Who here hopes that everything opens up soon because it's getting boring and we need to get back to work? I mean, seriously, who wants to sit on the living room couch for the rest of their life? I know I don't. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. We literally need to get Carole Baskin in jail. Sorry, I don't have a backdrop. My backdrop's out in my living room area so I can do live real estate marketing videos. So I didn't bring it back in here. I worked out this morning and I did not wash my hair, but you know what? Who cares? Nobody can get in 6 feet of me anyway, so go ahead and just spray that on. I did take a shower. I just got out of the shower. Ooh, that perfume just went in my mouth. All right, so here we go with the eyebrows. But as I'm doing this, let's chat. What do you think? Did Carole Baskin kill her husband or what? I'm horrible at doing these on video, so bear with me here. I agree that, like, Carole probably, okay, this is what I think. Not that what I think really matters, but okay. So her husband was getting ready to leave her, right? So she married this millionaire, okay? They bought a bunch of like exotic cats, right? So he had the money, okay? So Carole Baskin, loved cats or whatever. They bought these cats, bred them, sold them, all the things that she's saying that she's against. So anyway, so her husband was getting ready to leave her, right? Okay. He wasn't happy anymore. He wrote a letter to the police department, asking for a file of protection against her because she's threatened him multiple times in multiple arguments. Oh, I thought I had something on my face. So they didn't take it seriously. And she threatened him. In June, he went to the police. They didn't give him a restraining order. And in August, he's missing. Okay. So his will got changed from if I die to also if I disappear. So that's one huge red flag. Nobody says in their will if I disappear. So the day that he went missing, quote unquote, Carole gets all the documentations, all the wills, all the everything from the office and changes all the information, like the executor, the all that, and changes it to her. Okay, and then it says if I go missing or if I pass away, everything goes to Carole. Red flag, huge red flag. Seriously, if my will says if I go missing, I mean, no, we don't say that. We say upon my death, not upon my disappearance, blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, so, and then she puts everything in her name, like all of the land, all of that. And then finally, 5 years later, when he does not reappear, she declares him dead and never has a funeral. Like, who doesn't have a funeral for a loved one who now you can proclaim dead? She's like, in the interview, in the movie, she's like, oh, yeah, I just, got his death certificate and I just blanked out. And the next thing I remember was being awake, and that's the only type of funeral I had. And everybody like interviewing her were like, really? Are you serious right now? You're coming off as a complete douchebag, which she doesn't like how she was portrayed in the documentary. If you don't like that, then you probably don't like yourself much, because literally, I don't think they did, alter much of anything, or they just didn't portray her as she thought she would be portrayed, as the goddess of cats or whatever. Anyway, I think she's done it. I think that she, thought she could get away with it. But unfortunately, we're not dumb, and we're not her brother, who is a police officer, who overlooked everything or helped her in some sort of fashion. Oh, I forgot. I was going to tell you how I think it happened. So I think she killed him at the property, okay? Either by feeding him to the lions and tigers and bears or whatever. Then she plants his car at the airport. Okay, so drives his car, and then she doesn't have a ride back, so she calls her brother. Her brother comes and gets her, and then they just make up a story that her car died and she needed a ride. So her brother doesn't give her a ride back. Some other random cop gives her a ride back to the house. So we all know you're guilty. You should just say you killed your husband, Carole, and go behind bars and spend the rest of your life what you've done to these cats. I think it's only fair. I really think that you are worse than Joe. Right? I can't believe nobody's coming on. What's going on? Why are you guys not here? Nobody's watching. Maybe everybody's back to work. Anyway, comment. Let me know what you think. If Carole Baskin killed her husband or what. I 100% agree she killed her husband, so I will give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up if you think she killed her husband. I just saw an interview that they are opening it back up, and that's a good news. A good news. If you haven't watched it yet, you really need to hop on and watch it, because it is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. All right, y'all, I'm gonna hop off of here. I'm actually getting ready to go on a picnic with a friend, so that should be fun. What are you guys doing? I worked out this morning. I've been doing my virtual workouts, making no excuses. I have a wedding in October, so I'm hoping that I don't gain a whole bunch of weight, because it's easy right now just to kind of give up and give in. Give in, but I'm not going to. I refuse. I refuse. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Goodbye.